waits for him to dive in, waits for that little nibble, and then he's away. And I think since he's been at City, he's always had it, but since he's been at City, he's really improved in that sort of final pass, when to release it, when to find that sort of intricate pass, and then obviously the touch and turn and finishing it in the penalty area is fantastic.
Well, James McFadden, for someone who's meant to be really a centre half, not a full-back, he's taken that brilliantly.
It's brilliant because he takes the touch, the fake inside, and he keeps it close enough to him that Tonali's coming back to him, he can't get there, and then he hits it quick. So everything about it, if you didn't know the player, you'd be looking saying, no way is that a centre-back that plays left-back sometimes, because of how good it is technically. It's hard to stop when you do that. Dan Burns in the right position, he's down the line of the shot, he's trying to block it, he doesn't commit, he doesn't dive in, he expects a shot, but as soon as he cuts inside, it's hard then to change your feet so quick, and he just gets his shot away really quick, and in the end there's nothing you can do about it.
In 2024, Gvardiol's been directly involved in 6 Premier League goals. No defender's been directly involved in more.
Really?
He's top with Fabian Schär, Ben White, and obviously Gabriel's just behind on 5.
Oh, that's why I was going to bring Gabriel in, because I feel like I've been doing Gabriel goal-scoring stats for about 3 weeks.
So he's got the same amount of goals as Gabriel, which is quite impressive, and he's got 1 more assist.
All right. Good, excellent. Let's go back to Mark Clement talking about EFL with him. We've touched on League One. Another manager has lost his job in the Championship this week. It will bring us back on to managerial merry-go-rounds in a moment lower down. But you're not surprised, are you? I mean, this is probably the least surprising one to lose their job so far.
Well, listen, even if you've got implicit faith in your manager, I mean, to take a point from your first, 6-7 games of the season.
This is Errol Bullitt.
I'm sorry, of course it is. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I don't think there was anybody surprised there, was there? Just hasn't. He seemed to improve them immeasurably last season, but just has not worked out for him this time around. And I have loved all the sort of posturing on non-posturing and people being asked about the job and sort of saying the right thing but being very careful not to say the wrong thing about the club they're currently with. There's so much of it. I mean, Omar Rissa, who's been an assistant there, is interim for the time being. Vincent Tan does have previous, doesn't he, with Mark Hudson and Steve Morrison of sort of promoting from within. Could he be on the radar? I've seen Nathan Jones linked with it. His dad lives not far away, but he's said he would love to manage the club one day, but this is not the right time. The owner has a club in Belgium and their manager's been linked, Freya Alexanderson, but these clubs say they are stunned at the suggestion. I've seen 2 ex-Wales managers, Mark Hughes and Rob Page, linked. I've seen the 2 managers who started in the Championships. Other 2 clubs have saved their changed their manager this season, Stephen Schumacher and Ryan Lowe linked. Listen, it's a good job. We've seen that some do get it right occasionally and they get the rise to the Premier League, so it's a darned good vehicle. But Vincent Tan's changed his manager, I think, in that particular window of the season. Is it 5 times in the last 11 seasons? So yeah, no surprise there.
I think the sigh you heard was James McFadden on a chance at St James's Park rather than on the Cardiff managerial situation.
Oh, my answer.
Oh, your answer, yeah.
The answer was good.
Yeah, he's reviewing every question and answer on this show today, is James.
You're on air, James. You're on air, mate.
So the sigh, I think, was because Manchester City could have gone 2-0 up. Lee Blakely.
Could have done. We made exactly the same noise here at St James's Park because Nick Pope played the ball from midway inside his own half straight to Bernardo Silva. Silva held onto it a little bit too long, went for a shot come chip. If it was a chip, it was a pants one, as Newcastle come down the other end with Gordon with the cross, go straight back to Edison, and by the time Silva had managed to put the shot or the chip in, whatever, Stuart Downing, then Nick Pope was in position to make the claim.
I'm just watching Pep now. He's having a go at Gundogan for his choice, I think, of pass. Great chance for him, but when Pope came out, he didn't look comfortable, did he? Played a misplaced pass, and Gundogan, to be fair, initially did very well, but I think he's got to play it to Haaland and let him go 1v1 with the defender. But if it goes in, we'll probably say a great goal, but it's the wrong execution.
4 to go until half-time. Newcastle 0, Manchester City 1.
I don't think I've heard anything described as pants since about 1992.
That sums up my life. Stuck in about
stuck
the
in the early
30
90s.
years ago. That's spot on. Oh, here comes Haaland into the area. Can Hall get back and clear? Yes, he can. but he's given it straight to Gundogan, and now Gundogan will try and play in Haaland as well. Gundogan brought down inside the D. No foul, says referee Jared Gillett, Stuart.
I think it's a foul. Gundogan does well and nicks the ball off him, but I think he gets caught late. I think it's a free kick, but another chance for Man City is just that final pass, and Haaland's getting a bit frustrated because that's 2 times now he's been let down.
Yeah, the final pass was poor, wouldn't go as far as pants this time. Newcastle 0 City 1.
Glenn Murray, they're living dangerously a bit at Newcastle, aren't they?
They are indeed. Well, we spoke about it, didn't we, about, them finding a way, and that's what they do. They're just... Newcastle came out on top there, they burst onto the field, a lot of energy around the place with knowing that De Bruyne wasn't playing and Rodri wasn't fit. And all of a sudden, Manchester City just sit in, they take their time, they find a way, 1-0 up, and it could have been 2-0 so much easier there.
That's what it feels like, Mark, that they've sort of ridden the storm, taken the sting out of it, and now taking control.
I think whenever you go to St James's Park, I think they always come out the blocks pretty quick. The fans get behind them early on, and you have to sort of weather that storm. But Man City are the best at doing that. They just bed themselves into games and take control of them.
Let's just stay with the managerial side of things as we talk to Mark Clement. Talked about Mike Williamson leaving MK Dons to go to Carlisle last week, and now and maybe that raised eyebrows a little bit. It may have been a geographical reason for Mike Williamson doing that, and now MK Dons have made what you would think is a very good appointment, but it means Scott Lindsay is dropping down a division.
Yeah, and maybe impressed MK Dons, although they wouldn't have thought so at the time when his Crawley team thrashed MK Dons 8-1 in the playoff semi-finals last time around. Listen, he's had a really impressive last few years. Scott is a tremendous fella. Most of his football career has been in the non-leagues, give or take 20-odd games for Gillingham. I've always felt when I've talked to him that he always wanted to tell the story of his old man who also played full-back for Gillingham, Scunthorpe and things, but he really has worked his own story over the last few years. Such impressive work against the odds with Crawley. Difficult with Crawley because they'd lost quite a lot of players over the summer. When you're on the radar, when your stock is high, people are going to make a move. And MK Dons, I guess, might be seen perhaps as a bigger club than Crawley longer term, bigger vehicle, and perhaps he fancies that change to go and try and put them back on the map.
He was also, as you may know if you've listened to the Monday Night Club, he was Chris Sutton's assistant when Chris was manager at Lincoln. So having fulfilled that role, you can't begrudge him any amount of success.
Joy in his life.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie Jealous has put Walsall ahead at home to Colchester. They've won all 3 at home in the league this season, and they could make it 4 straight wins just in the Championship. And at the moment we've got West Brom, who were unbeaten, losing 2-0 at Sheffield Wednesday. Derby and Norwich are goalless, as well as are Blackburn and QPR. Is it too early to say who are the most impressive sides in the Championship, Mark?
I think it is a little bit because some teams are still on the rise, aren't they? So I've got the Derby Norwich game on here in the background because they won 2 out of their last 3 and are having a little surge there. I'm quite impressed with what Blackburn are doing so far this season. Still one of the unbeaten teams there. John Eustace, after what happened to him last season with Birmingham City. I mean, for me, starting to look like Sheffield United. I know we discussed them last week when I came on. They just seem as though they're starting to click, having had a big clear out. They've got, lots of new players have come in there, pretty impressive. I mean, one of the games today I'm keeping an eye on is Oxford against Burnley fancied in the top 6, sure, but it's been a good start for Des Buckingham. He's another one that was tenuously linked with the Cardiff City job, won all their home games so far this season. They had a really tricky time when he took over last autumn, and then once he got beyond Christmas, had that surge that took Oxford into the playoffs and to success. So yeah, I think so, and there's a few teams still trying to emerge from the pack. I think Middlesbrough have just not got loads of chances, can't put any of them away so far, so they're at home to Stoke today. Yeah, I don't think it's settled down at all there. Maybe Sunderland fans might say, well, wait a minute, we've got a certain momentum there. We have won 5 out of 6, and got